Okay, we have an outlet that's all painted up here we got to replace. And we'll see how poorly it's hooked up too, if it's bad or if it's good. Used a commercial outlet. The wires are so short. Wow, they did something quite unusual. There's a black up here and a white down here. That's not right. If we look over on the other side, you can see how poorly that is wired. Now they got a black and a white on this side. So I'll just make sure this is all off. Which it is. Now we can go and unhook our wires. That wire is just barely under the screw. And you don't put the black and the white on the same side. You put the two black ones on the brass screws, and your white on the silver screw. And I'll swing this around and we can see the other side. See how they got a black up here? I'm going to grab my light so you can see better. I can get it. If I can't, I can't. I'm not going to frustrate. It's not here. It's not here. See how they have a black on this side and the white on this side, and the wire is just barely under the screw there either. And they got the grounds together there. So they did put the ground wire around the green screw the right direction, but they didn't get a good loop. Okay, this box is very, very shallow. So we're going to cut and make tails here out of a piece of 12-2 here. Okay, so we'll get our wires up here. They're so short. So I'll get our first two twisted here. I'll take my ground wire tail, get up in here like this. I'll have to cut it really short so I can get this wire to go back into the box. You can see we don't have much room in here. We're even on the end here. Put our wire nut on here. I'm going to twist it a little bit better here. Here we go. We'll just take a smidgen off that so it's even there. Get our wire nut on here. Okay, now we'll push our ground wires back into the box here. Now let's see if we can get our white wires pigtailed together here. Bring our other one. Get our insulation even at the bottom here. Best we can. It's the best it's going to be. Make sure they're even on the end here. Put our wire nut on here. I'm going to hold the tail so it doesn't We'll push that one back into our box. Just let it lay. You don't frustrate. You don't care about things. Just let it lay. Pick it up when I need it. Okay. Now we'll get our black wires twisted together. Get our insulation even at the bottom here. Twist them in so they go even. Well, that came out perfectly even, so we can stick our wire nut on here. Make sure it's nice and tight. And we'll push it back into our box here. Get our ground wire down at the bottom here. I'll hook our outlet up. Okay, we'll close the screws we're not going to be using. Okay, it's going to work good here. So we'll make a loop around our ground wire. Bare wire goes on the green screw like this. Close our loop. Make sure it's tight like that, and our copper is under the screw head all the way around. Put our white on the silver screw. Make a loop the direction our screw turns. White goes on the silver screw. Make sure it's tight like that. Now we'll get our black wire and we'll put it on the brass covered screw. Make our loop the direction that screw turns. Close our loop the direction our screw turns. Make sure it's tight. Now we can't get this to go into our box here. So what we're going to have to do is get a, if this doesn't fit, we're going to have to get an extension. This may fit, but if it doesn't, we'll get an extension and put it on here. And see if it fits. Well, it looks like it's going to fit, so we might not have to get the extension. I'm going to just make sure our ground wire doesn't hit the terminals that we don't want it to touch. I'll push it up this way so it goes back that way. Get our wire nuts where we want them. And it's going to fit. Yep, that's going to fit without force. So there was just enough room. We stick our cover back on here. Alrighty, so that was how not to and how to wire a receptacle here in the country I was born in. The black wire, which is live, goes on the brass screw. The white wire, which is neutral, goes on the silver colored screw. And the bare and the green, or the green, goes on the ground screw, which is green. Here in the country I was born in, we use a 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors, however, you may find white live in a switch loop or a 220-240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. The silver screw on the receptacle is your neutral, and it goes to the wider slot. The brass screw is the live, and it's the narrower slot, and I'll show you that on a receptacle. So here is the outlet. See the brass colored screws? They go to the narrower slot, which is here. The silver colored screw goes to the wider slot here, and the green screw goes to the U-shaped ground hole.